Surf City, El Salvador, ISA World Surfing Games. Thanks for joining us. Here's the heat that's going in the water. Kanoa Igarashi from Japan, Jeremy Flores from France, Shun Murakami from Japan, Joan Duru from France. France versus Japan here, and a lot at stake. I mean, you look at what's going on here. The team points, man, you got Japan #1, France #2, and Peru #3, and there's a lot of competitors from all these countries still in the mix right now. So I feel like it could be Japan, France, Peru, or Portugal as we look to yellow going right at it. That is Shun Murakami from Japan going to work.
That first opening turn was so precise. That wave let him down in the finish, but I love to see him looking for something a little different than what we see in the rest of this heat. Take another look at that perfect square up. Right off the top, and then he eyes up this next section. Great second maneuver, and that wave just really goes soft through to the inside section. So he's gonna have a look back. Look, he doesn't even eye up the rest of it because he knows it's not worth it. He is eyes on getting back to the lineup.
Well, we talk about how many athletes have qualified, and we are pretty much 39 total athletes from the men and the women have qualified for their spots at the Olympics. Now, there is one spot remaining. And who could get that one spot? Shannon, can you break this down for us?
It's between Team Japan, Hiroto Ohara, and Shun Murakami is an actual battle down to the final rounds that we are currently in. Whichever of those two surfers comes out on top gets the final spot, the 20th spot for Tokyo 2020.
Well, Hiroto did blaze through his repechage heat. He was using the right to get some big points on there. So Hiroto still alive. He's in the repechage, but Shun Murakami, you know, look, if he can advance on, he can control his own destiny by staying in the top two in every single one of those rounds, would basically secure him in the mix to get in there. So Hiroto's got his work cut out for him, but he is surfing quite well, and it's going to come head-to-head. Now, you look at this situation. What if Murakami is not able to make it in the top two in this one? Well, he would go into a repechage heat, and he would face Hiroto Ohara in repechage. So, wow. The plot thickens here in El Salvador as we look to the outback here for the surfer in blue. This is Joan Duru on this one for France. Nice good tag right there. So Shun already has a score in at 5.0, and Duru will have a score in. Japan versus France in this one, main round 7 for the men.
So much excitement in that battle down for Team Japan. Of course, Kanoa Igarashi in the lineup. He's one of our championship tour competitors that already qualified for the Olympics out of the 2019 championship tour. He takes one of those top seeds moving in through the rest of this last year. So it's been interesting to talk to some of those athletes that had already qualified via the 2019 championship tour.
Yep.
Of course, they needed to show up and surf this week as well to hold that qualification just as part of the rule books. But they solidified that with their results almost, 3 years ago is what Sally Fitzgibbons mentioned in her last post-heat interview. Based on what time of the year they found out that they would, filter to be the highest ranked surfers from their nations. And so it's been a long journey for those surfers to actually get on a plane and get to Tokyo like this guy, Jeremy Flores. He's already had that spot for years. And there we go.
Oh,
look at that.
Filthy frontside layback slash. And then we look to blue right here. Joan Duru on this one.
All right, so he drops in a 4.17, 2 turns, nothing super dynamic on that one. So that's going to sit with, a lower score. And we're still waiting for Kanoa Igarashi to get his opening ride. And
Flores has not been scored yet, too, as well. So I think Jeremy's waiting for 1, 2. And we'll see how that score comes in.
So scores to drop for Jeremy Flores. Shun Murakami dropped in a 5.0, and now Joan Duru up and riding again on his forehand. Nice strong attack. Look at how lightning fast his transitions are. He's surfing so quick. Nice little snap under the lip.
I love how he got in front of that corner. Now, he was behind that section, and he just put the pedal down and raced that section and got in front of it. Now we take a look here. This is White going at it. Jeremy Flores on the one that he caught. Working it down the line, keeping the speed going. Hits it one more time and kind of gets tumbled off on that one. So Jeremy Flores checks in with the 6'10". He goes to the #1 spot. Shun Murakami in #2 spot. Duru #3. Kanoa Igarashi in that #4 spot. So Kanoa's already in, so he's going to represent Japan in the Olympics. But once again, Shun Murakami, it's not done yet. This one is going to come down to it. And tell you what, Hiroto Ohara and Shun Murakami are battling out for the last spot for the Olympics, and that would complete the field of 40. Let's check in with Kelly Carranza down in the mix. Kelly.
Thank you very much, Brad. Yolanda Hopkins, another incredible heat for you. First off, you started with a pair of 7s. Is that what you were thinking when you paddled out there? Get a couple big scores?
I mean, the waves are so good. It's hard to not to put good scores. I was just having fun. There's no pressure now. So I was just enjoying the ocean, really.
And speaking of no pressure, 4 competitors in the water, you being one of them, all Olympians. But it must feel good to come away with the win, Portugal 1 and 2.
I mean, yes. She helped me a bit in the last heat, the heat before this one, so I thought it was only fair for me to help her a bit on this one. And we just want the team to do the best. Now it's the final, so everyone is from themselves, but until then, it was fine. It was just team effort.
Well, we'll let you get rested. Would you like to say something to everyone watching at home, I'm sure?
I just want to say thank you again for the support. It's been incredible, all the messages I've been getting, and the support that just Portugal's been to the team. And we can feel the support here, half away around the world. So many thanks.
There you have it, back up to the booth.
Oh, man, this is the kind of stuff that just makes you feel good, seeing stuff like that and seeing just how good it is. You know, I was breaking down team points, and it's pretty darn tight. If you look at all the competitors left, you know, in the mains, 2 from Portugal, 2 from Japan, 2 from France, Costa Rica, Peru being represented. And here's how the teams are breaking down right now, with Japan in that #1 spot, France #2, Peru, Portugal 4. It's between the top 4 because Germany, just with 1 competitor in, I don't think has a chance to get up in that top mix there.
And well, I mean, talking about the current heat, we have 2 Japanese surfers and 2 French surfers in the water right now fighting it out. It's the main round, which means no matter what, those bottom 2 surfers are not knocked out. It means there's still opportunity to gain more points for their team.
Exactly. And how crazy is it? Look, we've determined 39 surfers that are going to the Olympics. 1 of them has not been determined. Of course, that's from Team Japan, where the Olympics are going to be held. So if you think Japan would love to get the win for the team, yeah, they would, and they'd like to find out who's going to be that final surfer going in the mix. As we look at one heavy surfer that he's the guy trying to fight it, and that's Shun Murakami. And his battle, of course, is nothing but a hard task to go against Hiroto Ohara, who's been on point. Taking a look at this wave.
Let's take a look at that nice backhand attack. I love that he's hunting out the rights. Connects in under the lip, and lightning fast transition into that next section. Shun Murakami, he has the best rail game. Speed, radical turns, that's his bread and butter. That's what we see coming through from Shun, and I have loved it so far.
Well, one thing so you just mentioned Shun Murakami using those rights to his advantage. Well, guess what? That's exactly how Hiroto Ohara advanced on in his heat. He got a right that he was in 3rd place, and that right propelled him up into the top 2 and gave him the chance to get in there. So I got to think Shun's going, all right, if it's good enough for a fellow country person right there, I'm going to do the same thing.
What are the chances they have the same coach?
Could be something to do with it, yeah.
Pretty high.
So it's like you're coaching for both of them to win. So you're the coach. If Shun finishes above Ohara, then Shun's in. If Ohara finishes above Shun, then Ohara's in. But the coach is still the coach no matter what.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Wade Sharp doing a great team on behalf of Team Japan. And Kanoa is also heading down to the right. So we've got Wade Sharp is just down on the beach. He's got his towel. You know, coaches always have a towel, a certain color. Those athletes know that one is theirs. Follow the towel. Follow the towel. That towel is pointing south. Get south as quick as you can. That's where the scoring potential is. And we've noticed that Team Japan has been even just parked up down at the beach there on that south end for the entire event, so they've really had their eyes on it.
Well, here we go. Taking a look at it right now. This is going to be red. This is Kanoa Igarashi. That's not going to give him much on that one. It didn't look like that wave was going to give him too much of an open face to work with. But the fact that he was in 3rd priority, like the style. Don't wait for your turn priority. Get over to the right. If no one's sitting over there, then you're going to be able to take a wave under priority and get scored for it.
And you'll have a long paddle back out, but he is, you know, sitting so far to the south of the rest of the field that I don't think it's really going to factor into him being able to flip and turn on the next wave that comes through once he's out of backline.
So it's 15 minutes, 20 seconds. Joan Duru, the top spot right now, is 6'4" and a 4.17. Jeremy Flores. So France 1 and 2 here. And Japan 3 and 4 as we look at Shun right here in that third spot. Now remember, if he goes to repechards, he'll face against Hiroto Ohara. So he's trying to avoid the head-to-head combo and keep staying in the mains as we look to Duru on this one, taking off on the right on the backhand. You see a little bit of face to work with here. Look at that tension kind of getting better. Smacks it off the top. That is a huge hit right there. And will he get back in front of it? Just enough time to get out the back. So one big hit as we look back out. And this is white. Jeremy Flores. A nice big fan off that one. And that little front side slash layback. So two maneuvers for Flores.
Flores, born and raised in Reunion Island, representing France. Hossegor down at La Gravière, there's this huge mural on the shoreline. There's like this big break wall, and it just says Jeremy. It's like Florence. It's for Jeremy Florence. He's got all of France behind him. And then he's now residing in Tahiti. So he's getting ready for that Olympic debut at Chopu in a few years now.
You might as well just stay there, right? That's what you want to do. If of course, Chopu is going to be for the Olympics in 3 years from now, and you know that's where it's going to take place. You know, it's time to just pull up shop and hang there for a whole 3 years. You're going to be that much better and that much ready for it when it comes.
Yeah, that's, I mean, it's been great to kind of see that French contingency being able to split time in some of the world's best breaks. Of course, you know, Reunion Island falls under France, and Tahiti does as well, as we take a look at Kanoa Igarashi driving into that first turn, nice and sharp on the rail. Picks it up for the second one, and this right is looking alive for Kanoa, already qualified, going to the Olympics, representing Japan, hammering it away on the inside, multiple turns, and a clean kick out the back.
This is interesting because Kanoa could be one to actually push Shun down and make Shun have to actually go to the repecharge and go against Hiroto if Kanoa could get above him and knock him down. So if Kanoa could get better than that 5.97, that's going to put Shun down in the third spot, and that'll send him to repecharge if that's where he remains. As we look at Shun, he's like, well, I'm going to get back to work. Look at this one. Spins it around, reverts it, stays on it, and then he works into the inside section. We'll have to take a look. That's a great wave out of Shun here. Murakami, he's going to set back up. So that's a good wave for Shun. He saw Kanoa get a wave and said, I'm going to have to answer back. I don't want to go to third. I want to stay in the mains and keep separated from Hiroto Ohara.
Wow. There is a fire going down. There is a fight of fire in the lineup. And Shun Murakami, I love that he has been doing so well in this event because he surfed so well back in 2019 at the ISAWorldSurfingGames that he came away with a fourth place finish, which got him that provisional spot, that provisional qualification via the World Surfing Games for the continent allocation to Asia. But then his own countryman from Japan, we've already got Kanoa Igarashi with the higher seed. That's why this battle is going down between Shun and Hiroto, because there's only space for one more Japanese competitor.
Flores now into this one. Jeremy Flores for France. A second hit there, but not able to convert. So he will look to try and get back outside. 11 minutes, 50 seconds on the clock. Plenty of time waiting for a couple scores to drop. Waiting for a score red to drop and a score for white to drop. As we look at blue on this one, Duru on the backhand, using the right to his advantage. Slaps it off the top there. It bounces off that white water. Lets that tension kind of build to give him some more face to work with. Nice aggressive hit right there. And there you go. Joan Duru from France looking solid here, going for the win at 32 years old.
And he is looking good with a score to drop through. He's chasing a 6.44 to take the lead. And here we go, taking a look at his backhand attack. Nice sharp turn to start off with. Great extension from that back foot, and then straight up into the pocket. And he'll get that smooth transition as he kicks out the back.
And then looking to white right there. Jeremy Flores off to the races here. Take a look at this little section.
Love that hit on that finish. Times it so perfectly. That wave starts to feather down, and then Kanoa Igarashi answers back with a huge gouging rail turn to start off with. Comes in for a second one. Lets that tail loose. And then another vertical attack on the forehand, Igarashi.
Yeah, and I mean, he's in this too. I mean, he can send Shun down to the repecharge by just Kanoa finishing above him. So
And then we could see the battle of the event between Hiroto and Shun. I mean, either way, those two, they may end up together, they may not end up together. Everything will be determined by this current heat. But it would be so exciting to see them battle it out, and Shun goes progressive, throws that tail out, gets a little bit of air.
And that was his response after watching Kanoa. That was the wave after Kanoa got one.
Wow. This is exciting stuff. Kanoa with a huge score to drop. Joan Duru on his backhand. The waves, like the quality of waves today, these surfers can't even take a breath when they get out there. They just have to turn and go because it's so fun.
It's just such rippable conditions. Yeah, the surf's tapered off a little bit. When it tapers off here, I think it turns into a little bit more high-performance surf, and that's what we're seeing out of all of our competitors right now. Looking at the score right now, Jeremy Flores, there you go, top spot at 1283. Kanoa in the number 2 spot. Now look, Shun has been pushed to the number 4 spot, and he is, I think, waiting possibly for another score to come in for him, right?
He is waiting. We've got scores to drop for yellow, scores to drop for blue. Currently in the lead, Jeremy Flores with a couple of 6s. Kanoa Igarashi needs to drop that 4.0, and he's going to take the win. We can see that with that 8.17 if he can improve on his second score.
I don't want to bring it up, but I'm going to do this anyways. What if Kanoa and Murakami, what if they ended up 3 and 4 and they had to go to repercharge together? That would mean you'd have 3 Japanese surfers in the repercharge going at each other.
What would be going through Wade Sharp's mind? Coach 3 surfers in the lineup at the same time, each for the win.
He'd need to clone himself 2 different times to be able to talk to each surfer individually, I would think. But I mean, that's a reality that could happen, you know, with Duru would need to get something big to make it happen. Look at this one right now. It looks like in priority is going to be yellow on here. Shun's going to take off in this. Got a slopey face. Let's see if this thing can build up and throw some tension on the inside. Great turn. Kind of see as that front foot kind of get back on the heel. Kind of lost control of that one. So that's not going to improve it for Shun. So he will look for another wave. He needs a 708 to get into the top 2. Duru needs a 578 to get in the top 2. And Kanoa needs a 466 to get up the number 1 spot.
Now here with priority, surfer in white, Jeremy Flores has priority. He's hunting lefts. Kanoa Igarashi under second priority is hunting the right. So really putting some distance between the two of them. As we see Joan Duru, again, he squares up under the lip. So he's chasing a 578. If he can drop in a score that big on this wave, he'll be moving into that second position and knocking Kanoa into a potential difficult position. But Kanoa already has the 817 on the scoreboard. Yeah. So he's really set himself up well. But
there's just gobs of time left with 7 minutes and 25 seconds. The amount of waves that have been coming in these rippable conditions here live from La Bocana. Make sure you stay with us for closing ceremony today, 12:45. We will be handing out all the awards and, of course, the Olympic qualifications. And Fernando is unveiling a brand new song created just for the ISA. So that's going to happen in the closing ceremonies at 12:45. Fernando came in and told us directly. We got it straight from his mouth.
Well, he told us, and he was so excited he couldn't hold it back. So he gave us a little teaser as well, and it was really just such a beautiful, exciting, thrilling start to the song. So we look forward to hearing the rest of it. As we see Kanoa Igarashi on his forehand, looking really sharp, finding those rights. Coach Wade will be excited. Back in 2019 on the WCT, Kanoa Igarashi took out his sole championship tour win at Karamas. As we see Jeremy Flores, that was a huge frontside gouge. He's now chased over to the right. So that's a strategy shift for Jeremy Flores. But back in 2019, Brad, we saw at Karamas, Kanoa Igarashi walked away with the win alongside Steph Gilmore and their coach, the same coach, Snake, Jake Patterson. So for him, he knows what it's like to get big wins. He knows what it's like to find some good waves, especially on a right like Karamas.
Well, and you can see a lot of the surfers taking the rules from the playbook and heading over to that right-hander because it's been providing. And the way Labo kind of works, when it gets smaller, that right can be fun. When it gets big, that right can close out and it can push you so far over that it's so hard to get back into the primary takeoff zone that it costs you a lot of time. As we look at the replays of all of our surface Kanoa on this one, look at that hit. And then just using this to hit advantage, the foam climb there, works back, open face right there, smacks it off the top, count it.
Great surfing. So scores to come through. Kanoa, remember, was looking to improve on just a 4.0 to get something better behind his 8.17.
Remember what I said? Take a look at the 1, 2, 3, 4. I was talking about Japan ending up 3 and 4. Well, right now they are 3 and 4, so this could happen. We could see 3 Japanese surfers battling it out in repecharge if it ends up like this.
Well, it really could, as we see Daniela Rosas already turned around, ready to go back out in the lineup. This is quick turnaround for heats on finals day, giving a little prayer as she heads out into the shoreline, and she's going to be looking for some great waves to come through. So current heat, we've got Jeremy Flores in the lead with a couple of 6s, but he's going to drop a score that may improve that situation even higher. Joan Duru. All right, so scores in. Jeremy Flores, a 7.1, increases his lead. Joan Duru, also representing France, chasing a 7.43 to take the lead. Small score required, and there it is. Kanoa Igarashi with a situation change. Scores drop in, and it's a 5.73.
There you go. Kanoa to the top spot now. So that's going to make things quite interesting. Jeremy Flores with 4 minutes and 17 seconds. Needing the 6.81 to take the top spot now. Joan Duru wanting to get up in the top 2. Going to need a 7.43 to do that. And Shun, if he wants to avoid going to the repecharge and facing Hiroto Ohara, well, he's going to need an 8.73 to get up in the mix. And just under 4 minutes to go here on this one. We've seen so much wave action that this thing's not over yet.
Oh, this is definitely not over. It's so consistent today. You know, we saw that surf report this morning, that 3 to 5 foot conditions, decreasing swell from what we've had throughout the week. But it seems like, you know, the taste from the surfers, their excitement is all time because it's so fun out there. There's so much scoring potential on offer. Now that we're not seeing those big closeout sets that just roll through the lineup.
And look at this, Kanoa under priority right there. He's going to take this one using the right to full advantage. Nice little Chris Brown wraparound style on that. Look at that, how he just drags his hand, breaks the fins loose, then jumps back up on that lip. I mean, precision surfing out of Kanoa right there.
Kanoa Igarashi speaks 5 languages.
5?
He speaks 5 languages.
Do you happen to know all 5 languages?
I don't know. I don't even know more than 1 language, English. So there we go. He knows 5. Kanoa Igarashi on his forehand, looking super sharp.
Oh.
Love that turn. That is really good surfing.
Those definitely buckets.
He's looking to improve on a 5.73. And then Joan Duru with a couple of 6s, sitting in first priority. He's just bumped himself down, unfortunately, into that 3rd place position. So he's now chasing a big score of a 7.43 to stay in that top round.
2.5 minutes left in this. Here you go. Take a look at things right now. Flores in the number 2 spot. You know, Kanoa number 1. Shun Murakami trying to stay in that top 2, stay in the mains. Remember now, Duru and Murakami would not be done. They'd go to repecharge because this is a main round 7 for men's action as we're taking a look at Kanoa right here. Really using those rights, as you were saying, to his advantage. Look how he drags the hand, throws that around, kind of breaks the fins loose a little bit on that super aggressive turn. And some good surfing out of Kanoa. He outright earned a spot. So there was no drama for Kanoa Igarashi. He knew that he was in no matter what. But so I think when you'd have a little less pressure, you can kind of surf your own deal. But when you get stuck in those repecharges, it's a lot more work to try and get out of there and stay focused and get up on the podium eventually.
Yeah, it is a lot of work. It can equal rhythm. You know, it means surfers are getting more time in the lineup, but it also can equal exhaustion and a lot of heats to be surfed through. So the top 2 surfers out of this heat, main round 7, will advance into the grand final. And they'll be looking for those podium spots. And we'll have 2 more surfers to join them in that fight for the ISA gold medal. I love that there are medals here awarded at the ISA World Surfing Games. It's such a unique part of competitive surfing.
Gold, silver, bronze, and copper.
There we
1,
go.
2, 3, and 4. And that was Fernando's dream that he wanted to see not just 3 athletes being rewarded, because when you're going to have 2 in a heat fighting for the first place, 2 in a heat fighting for a 3rd, why would the 4th guy not get something after working so hard to get up there? And Fernando thought, you know, you should be celebrated. You made it to the final. There you go. So that's how it does it. That's how you do it. Gold, silver, bronze, copper. That's how it's represented. And the awards, the acclimates, the Olympic qualifications, all that will happen in a brand new song being unveiled, all about the ISA Pretty stoked on that. 12:45. Look, if you've had a vested interest this whole week watching all the webcasts and watching all the drama unfold and see who makes their Olympic teams and what country they're going to represent and what have you, then stay with us and make sure you stay with us for closing ceremonies and watch all of your favorite surfers get their awards and get their acclimates about going to the Olympics.
Yeah, it's a really special time to see those surfers, just appreciated and cheered on for their accomplishments. It's been a long week and a long journey for so many of these surfers. Some of those championship tour surfers qualified for the Olympics back in 2019. Some of them by maybe September of 2019.
Well, time is going to wind down right there, and the journey for Shun, well, that's gotten quite interesting now, because with that, with Shun getting in that 4th spot, that means he will not stay in the mains. He will go to repecharge, and that means he's going to face, it's going to be the showdown where he faces Hiroto Ohara, and that's coming up. That's going to happen for him. So Shun wanting to advance on, but look, he's not out. That's why the advantage of staying in those main rounds as long as possible. So congratulations, because he's not out, but he's still battling for that final spot. That final spot, it's hard to believe there's only one spot left here on the final day.
What a crazy day. 39 out of 40 Olympians already qualified. And that next heat, the very next heat, will determine what will Team Japan bring, Hiroto or Shun, into the Olympics.
Can't wait to find out how it's going to go. Well, repecharge round for the men coming up. That's going to be repecharge round 12. That is on the way. But more surfing action all coming your way. It's the final day, 2021, Surf City, El Salvador, ISA World Surfing Games. Stay with us because we are live from La Bocana. More insane surfing action coming your way right after this. Don't go anywhere.